You have to take it in the old-fashioned way, I suppose, without light. I'm going to read just a few pages, timing myself, precisely who probably says 3 or 4 things to the characters in the book, and prides herself on being quiet and not having much to say. But in the book, she speaks directly to the reader, not to the character. The ocean is my man now. He knows when to rear and hum his back, when to be quiet and simply watch a woman. He can be devious, but he's not a false-hearted man. His soul is deep down there and solid. I pay attention and know all about it. That kind of understanding can only come from practice. And I have a lot of that with Mr. Cozy. You could say I found his mind. At night, he said her name, Julia, so soft you could feel his tenderness as well as his apology. Their son, Billy Boy, was 12 when Julia Cozy passed, and even though I was only 14, it was the most natural thing in the world for me to stay on and look after the 2 of them. Only a wide heart like his could care that much for a wife and have so much room left over. When Julia Cozy died, Mr. Cozy transferred all of what he felt to his son. Lucky for him, the boy had that insight smart children use with grown-ups in order to stay important. Not by doing what they say, but by figuring out what they really want. And for yourself, boy, when he means, don't show me up, hurry up and fail. Or he can say, I'll teach you the world, meaning, I'm scared to death of you. I don't know what Mr. Cozy said to his son along those lines, but whatever it was, Billy Boy understood it to mean, be something I can get up for in the morning. Give me something to do. Respect. He chose goodness. Mr. Cozy was pleased with everything Billy Boy did and said. He lavished money on it, took it everywhere. With his hair parted in the middle and a cap just like his father's, well, a pair they must have been. One getting a trim in the barber's chair, the other one lounging with customers on a bench, sitting in the bleachers at Eagle games, on camp stools and sing-out competitions, at narrow tables in country joints where the most gifted musicians played. They slept in rooming houses or just knocked on the door. Mr. Cozy said he wanted Billy Boy to see men enjoy the perfection of their work. Father bragged about it in front of yawning friends. Bragged about his arm with a ball, his cool head in an emergency. How he had extracted a bent nail stuck in a little girl's cheek better than any doctor could have. I saw that one myself. Maybe 9 or 10 years old, was casting into the waves. For what, who knows? Nothing with scales swims this close to the shore. At some point, the wind turned and the homemade fish hook hooked her. Her fingers were dripping red when Billy got to her. He was deft enough, and she was grateful, standing there, cupping her face without a tear or a moan. But with her bound, honey on her wound, hoping she was too strong for lockjaw. Over time, as usual, Mr. Cozy walked up the story. Depending on his mood and his audience, you would have thought the child was about to be dragged into the water by a swordfish with Billy Boy, a girl. So Billy Boy chose May, who, as anybody could see, would neither disrupt nor rival the bond between father and son. Mr. Cozy was alarmed at first, not being privy to his son's selection, but was made easy when the bride was not only impressed with her daughter and what Mr. Cozy, widower, wanted in 1930 should have been impossible. That was the year the whole country began to live on relief, the way upbeat people did, if they were lucky, that is. Or if they did, how could they pay for it? Mr. Cozy, that's who. Because he knew what a harmonica player on a street corner knew. Where there was music, there was money. Check the churches if you doubt it. And he believed something else. If colored musicians were treated well, paid well, and coddled, they would tell each other about such a place where they could walk in the front door, not the service entrance, eat in the dining room, not the kitchen, sit with the guests, sleep in beds, not their automobiles, buses, or in a whorehouse across town. A place where their instruments were safe, their drinks unwatered, their talent honored, so they didn't have to go to Copenhagen or Paris for praise. Flocks of colored people would pay to be in that atmosphere. Those who had the money would pay it, those who didn't would find it. It comforts everybody to think of all Negroes as dirt poor, and to regard those who were not, who earned good money and kept it, as some kind of shameful miracle. White people liked that idea because Negroes with money and sense made them nervous. Colored people liked it because in those days they trusted poverty, believed it was a virtue and a sure sign of honesty. Too much money had a whiff of evil and somebody else's blood. Mr. Cozy didn't care. He wanted a playground for folk who felt the way he did, who studied ways to contradict history. But it had to be special. With the undertaker. His friendship with the sheriff got many a son out of handcuffs for years and without a word, and the hotel basked in his glow. May, a sweet-tempered daughter of a preacher, was bred to hard work and duty and took to the business like a bee to pollen. At first, the two of us managed the kitchen, with Billy Boy tending bar. When it became clear that the queen at the stove was me, she moved to housekeeping, bookkeeping, provisioning, and her husband booked the musicians. I think I deserve half the credit for the way the hotel grew. Good food and fat swaller is a once-in-a-lifetime combination.